The Fallout franchise is among the most popular and successful RPG games ever. To mark the 25th anniversary of the game series, those responsible published a first image of the upcoming live-action series, which has been in the works for quite some time. The image shows 3 people wearing Vault 33 jumpsuits, as well as the illuminated opening of the vault, which leads into the dangerous world outside the protected bunker. Thus, we can expect to see, on the one hand, the isolated life inside the vault protected from radiation, and on the other hand, the outside world destroyed by a nuclear war. This would also be consistent with the previous reports. In terms of story, most Fallout games revolve around an individual who grew up in one of the numerous vaults, or at least spent an extended period of time there, and later meets the flora and fauna mutated by the nuclear fallout. Even within the vaults, things are not always harmonious. Not only are you squeezed together with lots of strange people in one place, but sometimes you also have to put up with secret experiments. The latest game release is Fallout 76, an online game by the developers Bethesda and Obsidian, which was never really well received in spite of great ambitions. Many fans still yearn for Fallout New Vegas, which was published in 2010 and is regarded as one of the best games ever in the role-playing genre. Whether the Amazon series will be able to convey the atmosphere of the Fallout games in a series is doubtful. Nevertheless, we are curious to see what the responsible parties will make out of it. Sadly, a release date is not known yet. Rumors about the upcoming Star Wars movie have been circulating since the beginning of the year, mainly triggered by Deadline. It was suspected that Damon Lindelof was working on an upcoming Star Wars film, and even a possible director was supposedly known. Well, now the rumors were indeed proven true, and it was revealed that Damon Lindelof, best known as the creator of Lost, is in creative charge of writing the first Star Wars film since 2019. The director has now also been revealed, namely Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, who has already won 2 Oscars for the documentaries Saving Face and A Girl in the River, The Price of Forgiveness. The Pakistani filmmaker has previously worked for Disney as well, having most recently directed the MCU series Ms. Marvel. Nothing has leaked out about the plot of the new Star Wars movie yet. However, the flick is bound to attract a fair amount of attention since the franchise is in need of a successful movie release after so many series. There are other Star Wars movies being worked upon behind the scenes. However, this movie by Obaid-Chinoy and Lindelof is sure to have the best chance of being released in the near future. We'll keep you posted on further announcements. On October 23rd, the finale of the first season of House of the Dragon was released with Episode 10, The Black Queen. Many are naturally curious to know how the conflict among the Targaryens is going to continue. Showrunner Ryan Condal, who is now solely responsible for the development of the series after the departure of Miguel Sapochnik, spoke about the future of the Game of Thrones prequel, in keeping with the current finale of House of the Dragon. The focus is on the so-called Dance of the Dragons, which will cover a large part of the remaining series. It will continue to be based closely on the original book by George R.R. Martin, who published the novel Fire and Blood in 2018, and which is structured like a history book. In it, contributions from various maesters can be read, although these are not necessarily written in an objective and clear manner and pursue a different goal depending on the agenda of the respective maester. For the series team, this translates into greater artistic freedom in future storylines. The often perplexing change of characters has also come to an end, by the way. Since many plotlines in Season 1 were told over many years, there were also different actors for the characters as children, teenagers, and adults respectively. With the progress of the series, however, this has now gradually reached an end so that we can become accustomed to the current actors. Shooting for the second season will kick off in January of 2023, and it's not yet known what happens thereafter. For fans of the series, this means a longer waiting period, which will certainly extend to at least 2024. In a few days, the last film from Phase 4 of the MCU, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, will be released. Over the past 2 years, the film has been heavily impacted by the death of King T'Challa actor Chadwick Boseman, as he was already set to play the lead role in the sequel. Immediately after Boseman's death, those responsible decided to reconsider the plot. It soon became clear that out of respect for Boseman's legacy, there would be no CGI replacement or recasting. Filming finally started with a new script in June of 2021. However, the question remains, what happened with the original version? Director Ryan Coogler recently addressed this in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. In fact, he said the sequel was very much about King T'Challa and focused on his evolution as the leader of Wakanda after the events of Avengers Endgame. Coogler spoke of a gigantic movie that would have delved deeply into the psyche of King T'Challa. However, he was unable or reluctant to confirm whether Namor was also planned as the main villain in the original version. The present version is very different, as you can already tell from the two trailers. Here, it becomes apparent that Boseman's death is processed through the passing of his movie character, which can be seen, for example, in the graffiti. Thereby, his death is handled in a sophisticated way and, at the same time, makes room for the presumed main character, Shuri. She is embodied by Letitia Wright and is the sister of the late King T'Challa in the film. It is likely that she will henceforth act as Black Panther in the MCU. More details will be available very soon, since Black Panther Wakanda Forever is due for release on November 11th, 2022. What are your thoughts on the current approach of having King T'Challa pass away in the MCU as a proper tribute to Chadwick Boseman? Will this do justice to Boseman, or would you have wished for something entirely different in order to pay him his last respects on screen? Feel free to write us your opinion in the comments. News about the upcoming Saw X began circulating a few months ago. Apart from many speculations, it was also anticipated that actor Tobin Bell would return to his iconic role as Jigsaw. At the time, critics argued against the rumor since his film character had actually died at the end of Saw 3 and was later only seen in flashbacks. Now, however, it has been announced that the meanwhile 80-year-old Bell will indeed portray a living John Kramer, alias Jigsaw. In fact, Bell has sustained the film series for years with his performance and was the highlight of the respective films, along with the ingenious and equally brutal traps. Producers Mark Berg and Oren Coles recently called it an exciting reunion, thus muzzling the last skeptics. The story will be set prior to the third film and will therefore not be a sequel, but a sort of prequel. Another returnee behind the scenes is Kevin Greutert, who already handled the direction of Saw 6 and Saw 3D. Filming will begin shortly, but we still have to wait about a year for the release, as Saw 10 or Saw X is expected to hit theaters on October 27, 2023. It has now been 16 years since the first of the two film adaptations of the popular horror franchise Silent Hill came out. Released in 2006, the movie revolves around the main character, Rose, who has to deal with the terminal illness of her daughter, Sharon. She sees a faith healer as the last resort for her child's recovery. However, things don't go as planned, and so she ends up in the mysterious small town of Silent Hill. She has no choice but to realize that her daughter has disappeared off the face of the earth. The town is home to all sorts of horrible monsters, while there is also a weird cult that is up to no good. Later, it turns out that Rose and Sharon are trapped in a nightmarish alternate world from which there seems to be no way out. Along with the movie and its sequel, Silent Hill Revelation, there are over a dozen video games, some of which now enjoy cult status. Especially the memorable creatures have stuck in one's mind, including, for example, the disturbing Pyramid Head, which was first introduced in Silent Hill 2 in 2001, or the twin victims from Silent Hill 4. French director Christophe Gans is back for the third movie installment, which is apparently titled Return to Silent Hill. The script is already complete, and the movie will focus on the events of the game Silent Hill 2. In a live stream, Gans disclosed a few details. The main character will be a young man returning to the mysterious town in which he met the love of his life. But what he finds instead of a cozy atmosphere is to be an utter nightmare. As an audience, you can look forward to old and new monsters, and the appearance of the brutal Pyramid Head is deemed probable as well. Meanwhile, video game fans have plenty of new games to get excited about, including Silent Hill Townfall, the prequel Silent Hill F, and a remake of Silent Hill 2, which is widely regarded as one of the best in the franchise. So, we are eagerly awaiting more news about the upcoming Return to Silent Hill movie. By the way, even before that, you can look forward to the series Silent Hill Ascension, which will be released as an interactive format next year. As for the movie, there is no set release date yet. With Black Adam, the newest movie from the DCEU, is currently running in theaters, and those who have already seen the movie might have been pleased about the one or other surprise. One important person in the future of the DC film universe will at least be Henry Cavill, as he personally confirmed via Instagram last week. More than 5 years after his last appearance in Justice League, The 39-year-old is now officially coming back to his role as Superman, after this had been prevented by those responsible in the years before. The plans for a new Superman movie are consistent with the statements made by Dwayne Johnson during the promotional phase of Black Adam. After all, Johnson often talked about a potential clash between his character and Superman and allegedly also advocated for Cavill's return behind the scenes. At the moment, it is not known what exactly the upcoming Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill will look like, but we do hope for more news soon that goes beyond the mere announcement.